Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the basic introduction of microprocessor and microcontroller. In our previous lectures, we have seen about the flip-flops and counters, how we can design a flip-flop and with help of flip-flop, how we can design a counter. So in our fourth unit, there is a basic descriptions of the digital electronics and microprocessor based system. So first of all, we will say about the what about the microprocessor. So first of all, we will see about microprocessor 8085. So that is a basically how we will pronounce 8085 as a 8085 microprocessor, and it is basically a 8-bit microprocessor designed by the Intel in 1977 using the NMOS technology. So this is a very basic description of our 8085 microprocessor. It has the following configurations. It has a 8-bit data bus, 16-bit address buses which can address up to 64 kilobytes, a 16-bit program counters, a 16-bit stack pointers, six 8-bit registers arranged in pairs BC, DE, and HL. It requires a 5-volt supply to operate at 3.2 MHz single phase clock. It is used basically in washing machine, microwave ovens, mobile phones, etc. So this is a very basic description of 8085 microprocessor, ki what configurations it will help. So basically, if we are seeing here 8-bit microprocessor, so if we are talking about the 8-bit microprocessor, means it can handle the data buses of the 8-bit. If you are talking about the address bus, that is can be 16-bit address buses. So this is a very important features of our 8085 microprocessor. Now we will move to the functional unit. So here, before starting our basically pin diagrams of 8085 microprocessor, here we will discuss about the ALU register array. So there is a basic block diagrams. So major functions which are performed by our microprocessor. So this will contain the instruction decoding unit, PC and IP, CU central unit, flag, ALU arithmetic logic unit, and data buses. So these are the very basic functional units of our microprocessor. Now we will study about the suppose CU central unit, that is the control buses related to the, if you are talking about the address buses, so that is basically interconnected to the PC and IP. So that all these systems are, we have to again study one by one. So first of all, we will see what about the accumulator. So basically, if you are talking about the accumulator, so accumulator is a 8-bit register. So that is used to perform the arithmetic logic functions, input output, load and store operations. So it is connected to internal data bus and arithmetic logic unit. So what about the accumulator? If you are talking about the accumulator, it is an intermediate between the different operations which are performed, and that is basically interconnected to the ALU arithmetic logic unit. So that is the interconnection of interconnected through the accumulator. Arithmetic logic unit, as we know already, what about the arithmetic logic unit? As the name suggests, it performs the different types of arithmetic and logical operations. If you are talking about the arithmetical operations, suppose that is the addition, subtractions. If you are talking about the logical operations, so that is the AND OR operations on 8-bit data. So there is a constant कि all these operations will be performed basically on a 8-bit data bits. Now this is the our basically 8085 complete diagram. So in this diagram, here we will slightly discuss about the part we have to told that there is a basic part of you. If you are just slightly enhance some parts, so it will be better to show you. So this is the register. So what type of there are six types of registers. So B, C, D, E, H, L. So these are the registers. We have a stack pointers, program counter. So in further slides we will study about the particular part of everything. Here we have seen the arithmetic logic unit, and these arithmetic logic unit are connected to the accumulator as I have seen in our previous. There is also a temporary registers for storing purpose. These are the flag flip flops. That is the instruction decoder and machine cyclic coding, timing and control signals, read, write, ALE, arithmetic logic, S0, S1, input, output, memory. So what type of operation these are performing? So all these functions we have to study one by one. There is a address buffer if you are talking about the address buses. So A8 to A15, that is the complete address buses, and AD0 to AD7, that is the address oblique data buses. Means sometimes these data buses is also work as a address buses. So that is the combinations AD0 to, so these 8 bits are sometimes work as a data buses, and sometimes it will work as a address buffer. So if we are talking about the, so that is the, if we are talking about the address buffer, so that is a 16 bit, 8 bit from this side and 8 bit from our data buses. So that is a complete 16 bit of, so you can use your 16 bit address buses also in our system. Apart from that, there is a serial input output control systems SID, and there is a 8-bit internal data buses, and there is also a interrupt control. If during execution, yeah, if your program is running and there is sudden any emergency and you want that this microprocessor have to work any other task on highest priority, so that is the interrupt. So basically if you are talking about the, so there are basically five types of interrupts are existing there, and according to their priority it will be executed by the 8085 microprocessor. So that is basically the basic introductory part here. Now we will talking about the very general purpose register. So as we have seen six general purpose registers, B, C, D, E, H, L. So each registers, if you are talking about the register, if you are talking about the register B, so it can hold the 8-bit data. If C, it can also hold the 8-bit data, and if you want that you have a 16-bit data, so you have to use the combination of these registers. Suppose BC, DE, HL. So if you are talking about the HL, means you can load or store the 16-bit data at a time. So this is a basically about the description of our general purpose registers. So as we have to see, these registers can work in pair if there is a requirement of handle the 16-bit data, and their pairing combination is just as I have told you, BCDE and HL. So that is the basically. What about the program counter? It is a 16-bit register and it is used to store the memory address location of next instructions to be what next instructions to be executed. So microprocessor increments the program whenever an instruction is being executed, so that program counter points to the memory address. So basically what is the basic program counter? Program counter points to the memory address of the next instructions that is going to be executed. So what your next instructions is going to be executed, so in which particular address it will be executed, so that memory address will be points by the program counter. If you are talking about the stack pointer, it is also a 16-bit register and works like a stack, which is always incremented and decremented by a 2 during push and pop operations. So that is also for executing the stack pointer. There is a separate instructions for operating these type of pointer, and that instructions will be push and pop operations, and these operations are performed, and these operations are performed for working in stack pointer. So now, what about the temporary registers and what about the flag register? Temporary register is also 8-bit register which holds the temporary data of arithmetic and logical operations. Suppose you have done any type of arithmetic or logical operation, so at a small time period, it will hold your output or hold your results for a short time period. So that is called as a temporary registers. If we are talking about the flag register, so it is a 8-bit register. So that is a using having a 5 1-bit flip flop. So basically you have to take a 8-bit register. So only 5 bits we are using, which holds either 0 and 1, and depending upon the result is stored in accumulator. Suppose you have done some additions, subtractions, auxiliary carry, parity bit. So according to your result, what type of results are stored in accumulator, and if there is a carry generated, so according to that your carry flag will be 1. So this is basically odd parity, even parity. So according to that, these 5 flip-flops will be activated or set or reset, as we have seen our previous lectures ki how our flip-flops will be working. So it will be set or it will be reset. So according to that particular, our flag registers are also working. So if flag register basically 8-bit registers, and in this 8-bit register we are also see the diagram, just we have to see in further slide. So this is a flag register and this is the 8-bit content D0 to D7. So only we are using the 5 bits instead of using the 8 bits. So D0 is the basically carry flag. This is the D2 is indicated as a parity. D4 is auxiliary carry. Z for zero flag and S for the sign flag. So this is a 5 types of bits, that is either it will be set to 0 or it will be set to 1 according to results what is stored in our accumulator. So according to accumulator result, these flags will be set or reset. Now we will move to the instruction registers and decoders. So it is also register is also 8-bit registers, and any instruction is fetched from memory, then it is stored in that instruction register. So suppose from memory, if any type of instruction is fetches, then it will be stored in instruction registers, and then instruction decoder जो है decode the information present in the that particular register. So what type of information you have fetches from your memory register, and on temporary purpose it is stored in your instruction registers. Then instruction decoder will decode ki what execution you have to done. So that is done by the decoder. Now timing and control unit, as you have to see, it provides timing and control signals to the microprocessor to perform the operations. Suppose following are the control signal. If you are talking about the control signal, so ready, write, ALE. Okay. If you are talking about the status signals, so S0, S1, input, output, memory, these are the status signals. DMA, that is also if we are attaching some external devices, and what about the speed of that particular devices, and what is the speed of your microprocessor. So according to that particular instructions, we have to hold an HLDA. Reset signals also reset in and reset out. So these are different commands which we have to use in our microprocessor. So there is a separate pin for this execution of this timing and control signals. Now we have also seen what about the interrupt. Okay, so as the name suggests, it controls the interrupt during a process. Interrupt means there is a you have to block or stop something. Okay, so what will happen when a microprocessor is executing? Suppose microprocessor is running and it is in their main program, and main program is running, but sudden there is a interrupt occurs, and microprocessor means there is a interrupt command. So there is a sudden and interrupt signals may be activated, and when your interrupt signals will be activated, so what will happen that particular time? Your microprocessor shifts the control. Okay, so your microprocessor shifts the control from main program to the process incoming request. Means if you have any interrupt, so what will happen at that particular instant? Your microprocessor stop that main program, you're running that program will be stopped, and now microprocessor will consume or used for running that particular instance. So there may be a sudden emergency cases. So if there is any emergency cases and you have to working in your normal phenomena, so what will happen if there is an interrupt? So that is basically what will microprocessor is a unit that can handle the all execution of any type of applications or system. So during which if there is any emergency and any other programs is also there is a requirement of your microprocessor that it can to switch to that particular program and run that particular sub program, so that that emergency, so as that emergency can be removed, then your microprocessor will be automatically to shift to your main program and it will start to running that. So after the request is completed, it will go control goes back to the main program. So that is the interrupt process. So if you are talking about the, so basically there are 5 interrupt signals in 8085 microprocessor. So that is the INTR, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5, and trap. So these are the different the interrupt signals. According to that, our microprocessor will be execute. Serial input and output control signals. So it controls the serial data communication by using these two instructions. So suppose you have to work out in serial data communication or parallel data communication mode. So it will you have to activate these SID and SOD. So serial input data or serial output data mode, the 8085 microprocessor can be work out. Again, as we have to show you address buffer and address data buffer, we have to also show you AD0 to AD8 and AD0 to AD7, and from here A8 to A15. So what about this one, and what type of classification or data buses or address buses we are working? So first of all, if you have to address, suppose so here D0 to D7 is the data bus, and sometimes when you have to require the 16-bit address bus, so at that particular conditions your data bus is working as a address bus, and you have to 16-bit of address bus at that particular. So the content stored in stack pointer and program counter is loaded into address buffer, and that address buffer will be 16-bit. So memory and input output chip are connected to these buses. So this is basically called the buffers. Same thing I have to told you, it should be stored and it is a unidirectional. So if we are talking about the data bus, so data bus it is a bidirectional. And if we are talking about the address bus carries the location, so it is basically if that address bus is what is the content of your address bus. If you are talking about the address bus, so the content of our address bus is the location to where it should be stored. So address bus contain the location, memory location where your data has to be stored. So what type of data, so which type of operations you have to perform, so at that particular that data have to stored in that particular location. So data will be in the data buses, and if you are talking about the address buses, so in address buses the memory location will be stored. And what type of memory location, in which memory locations your data has to be stored karna hai. So basically if you are talking about the address buses, that is the unidirectional, and if you are talking about the data buses, that may be the bidirectional. It is used to transfer the data and address input output devices. So what is the, that is a basically transfer the data and address input output devices. So it's okay, there are input output devices, so it is used communicate between these two. That is the basic diagram of your so that is a CPU, so that is connected with the data buses, address buses, and control buses. If we are talking about memory, so these both are connected. So here is this, you can see data buses are bidirectional, but what about the address buses? Address buses are unidirectional. So it will take command from central processing unit and it will convey that to the memory. So that is the unidirectional of buses. Okay, so these are the basic various block diagram, and control buses are also bidirectional in this diagram. You have to just see here. There is two arrows, so that is indicate as a bidirectional, and if you are there is a single arrow, so it is indicate as a unidirectional communication between these two devices or buses. Now that is a very small things microprocessor, as we have to study there is a memory part. Okay, so microprocessor system is also a small part of memory, arithmetic logic unit, register array, control unit. So these are the very basic parts which we have to study. You can see here that is a basically architecture we have to show you. So just again very slightly we can revise here, that is the interrupt signals. So these are the interrupt signals which we have to study. SID, serial input, serial output. So that is the also command ki how your system will work out. That is the flag registers, that is the decoder, instruction register, temporary storage of result at that particular storage, flag flip flop, arithmetic logic. So there is no need to you have to, once if you have to understand the complete structure how it will function, so it will be very easy for you to remember these architecture of 8085. So there is nothing, there is a separate registers, stack pointer, program pointer, temporary increment and decrement of your address latches. So that is basically a combined form. Here, one by one, we are timing and control signals. So that is also related to our instruction decoder. So that is the basically part of our basic architecture part of our 8085. So I think it will be clear to you. You can also see apart from how much power supply you have to require x1 and x2, that is basically a clock signal. And here we have to, as in our previous lecture we have seen about the oscillators. So you have to require 5 megahertz frequency signal. So it will be here we will use a crystal oscillator. So in our microprocessor we are using a crystal oscillators and which will generate a 5 megahertz very high stable frequency, and it will be connected between the x1 and x2. So this is the architecture of our 8085. Now we will move towards the basic instruction code. So that is the you have to learn. Yes, these are the microprocessor, these are the basic architecture of our microprocessor, but what type of operations can be performed by our microprocessor. So this is also a things for us ki how our microprocessor can work out. You have to see there is a registers, temporary registers, storage devices, address bus, data bus, control buses. You have a timing and control unit also. So all these things are arithmetic logic unit is separate. So you have to require some instructions, and according to that instructions we have to make a program. And when these programs run, and by using these programs your microprocessor will be run at that particular programs. So if we are these programs are written in our assembly language, so first of all, but our microprocessor will learn the only the machine language. So there is also a basic thing ki, for our learning purpose we have make our programs in our assembly language, but our microprocessor will only understand the machine language program, and that machine language program will be 1 and 0 format. So if you have to given suppose MBIC00H, so what is the MBI? So you have to insert or so clear C register. Clear C register means you have to 00 is your data. Okay, and now what will happens you, these data you have to move to the register C, means C will be clear because you have inserting the 00 means 0 if they are 00H means this is the 4-bit data and this is the 4-bit data, and whole both is make the 8-bit data. Okay, so 000A FH, so that is what you can understand. These are the data bits of 4-bit and 4-bit. So that is the 8-bit, and these 8-bit data will be stored in the register. So at present, what is the amount of your data? Your data will be 00, means you are inserting the 00 in your register C. So that is the clear C register. Now, in if you are talking about, so that is the address, what type of address you are using. So suppose LXI H800H. So how you can understand? This is the instruction and which is used by our microprocessor. So load initial address means load initial address to get operand. So what is the address? So 8000H. This is the initial address, and in so what type of data is stored or contained in this address? That is that address. Okay, so that data will be loaded to the HL. So now what will happen here? First of all, you have to load the 80. After then you will load the 00, and then you have to LXI H. Okay, so then that is the 21. So that is a basically operation ki you what you have to done. You have to load 800H, and 800H what type of data are existing, that data will be loaded to the H registers. Now suppose in next our instructions we have to see some very important instruction. So that is a move AM. So what about the M? So load ACC with the memory element. So if you are talking about the M, so M will indicate as a memory element, and that memory element, what type of data contained that particular memory element, that data will be moved to the accumulator. So that is basically load accumulator. ACC is basically an accumulator with the memory element. Load means you have to give or move that particular data to that A. INXH. So point to the next location. Increment. Suppose HL. So what type of content is in HL? So you have to next increment by using the command of INXH. So that is the basically 1 byte instructions. So if you are talking about the hex code, so that is a byte instruction. So what is the number of bits in byte? In 1 byte there is a 8-bit information. So yeah, 1 byte contains the 8 bits. So if you are talking about the hex code, so this is a 2 byte instruction, this is a 3 byte instruction, this is a single byte instruction. So we can also see in parallel INXH is also a 1 byte instructions. Suppose move BM. Again, you have to what type of load B? Load B means you have to load B. matlab You have to send data in B. What type of data? What data are contained in the memory location? So M is indicate as a memory location, and what type of in that memory location you have inserted or stored your data. So that data will be shifted to the B. Sub B. So what is the sub B means? Subtract B. Here accumulator is not showing to you, but it is understood that if sub B means subtract करना है B को from which A is the accumulator. So what type of data at present are in accumulator, that may be, so you can subtract, yeah, from accumulator you can subtract the B. So you have to subtract the B from accumulator. So in sub B, that is the inbuilt feature that you have to subtract from A. That is again a JNC jump no carry. So that is the when CY barabar 0 go to the store operation. So there will be, and JNC is a 3 byte instruction. So that is the F0, 0D and D2. So that is the basic. Increment C. You have to increase C by 1. So what about data in C? So that you can increase C by 1. So there is a increment. LXI H8085, load the destination address. Suppose your destination address, or you have to store any type of program to 8050H or 8050H. So what you have to done, first of all you have to load the 80, after then 50, and then 20. Okay, so now what will happen? What type of content are stored in 8050? That content will be loaded to the HL. So that is the basically a 3 byte instructions in our microprocessor. Now again there is a INXH means that there is again a increase increment point to next locations. INXH move M to C. So what about the C? What type of data store the value? Okay, so what type of data in C you have to put into that particular memory locations. HLT, if you want to close your program, or so you can terminate the program by using the instructions HLT. So that is a very basic instructions. Now by using these instructions we can make a very small program. So we will see here how we can make our program. So just you can see your instructions will be 1 byte instructions, 2 byte instructions, and 3 byte instructions. And according to that instructions, we can execute our different problems. So now first of all, we will see what about the problem, what type of problems you are facing. So first of all, we have to see, we have also write simple program in this. So just we have to focus on that particular problems first of all. Then we will switch to the compare it with the microprocessor. There is a very basic practice in our how we can make a program. So suppose before starting our programs, what is the basic concept behind making these programs? Suppose you have to add the devices. So what type of devices we are operating, or we have to work out? So first of all, I'm just searching very small programs which I have taken in slide. So I'm not getting that particular program. So I'm just seeing, I'm told you in orally. Suppose you have to add, okay, so you have to add programs. So now what will happens when you have adding your programs? So you have to add 2 bits data, okay. Suppose you have, and you have to store that particular data in different locations. So what type of locations you are searching? Suppose there is a 8050 and 8051. So these 8051 and 8051, these are the basic locations, okay, so in which we have to work out. So we have again just slightly see our instructions, and according to that instructions we can working here. uh, it's okay. Suppose there is a data, so 8050H. So what is the basic LXI H? So what about the LXI H? So 8050, so that is the location, and what type of location you have to your data, that will be loaded with the 21. So same thing is here. If you have a data, that data may be 2B, and that will be the 25. So that 2 digits you have to edit. So what you have to done, one data you have to store in one particular location. Suppose that location is called as a 8050, and another location will be 8051. So your another data will be stored in that particular, because in this process we want to add two. So there is a certain steps ki how you can add two 8-bit data. So suppose you have 8-bit data, okay, so there are two datas here, and you have to add both of these data. So first of all, what you have to done, you have to particular store that 8-bit data in particular location. So suppose you have to use the 8050 for storing the one data, 8-bit data, and you are working on the 8051 location for storing the another data. So you have two memory locations, 8050 and 8051, and there maybe the two data are existing. Now what will happen here? Now you, if you want to load that your data in particular register, suppose LXI, or sometimes you can also load your data to the accumulator. So now what will happens here? You can store that HL register pair. So you LXI, so you can load your particular 88 8050 location. What type of data are existing there? It will be loaded to the H HL register. So that is basically the destination address, and you can load that particular data. So at that particular systems, you can also use the MVI instructions, and that MVI instruction, that particular memory location, that data will be loaded to that particular registers, and then we will use the ADD add instruction. So if we are using the add instruction, so now what will happen at that particular places, if you are using the add instruction, so in particular what type add C, suppose we are using the add C, subtract C, so that we are using that subtract B. So what is here? Accumulator is a inbuilt feature. Here is not you have to see in the accumulator, but you have to subtract your B from A. So suppose we are using here add C, so now what will happen, you have to add the content of C with the content of accumulator. So this is the system. In by using this we can make a any very short program. So in our next lecture we will see ki how we will add these data, and after addition what will happen, your result will be again stored in the accumulator part. So your result will be stored in accumulator. Now what will happen, now this accumulator, so there are two instructions of add B is simple, two 8-bit data are added, and if you are working on the ADC means there may be generate a carry. So now what will happen here, your carry flag will be set, means whatever CY, okay, so your carry flag will be set, and at that particular location you have to again require the 16-bit address, okay. So you have to require the 80, suppose that condition will be another locations. So what type of system you are searching, 8080 and 8081. So that as a two memory location. In one memory location your added result will be stored, and in one memory location your carry flag result, because you have generated carry, so according to that your data will be stored in the different locations places. So that will be the reason if how you can make a program. So in our Next lecture we will take a simple one by one problem. So first of all you have to go through these the instructions, what type of instructions we are using here, and then we can go to that particular problem. So in our next lecture will be totally included with the very simple programs of our 8085 microprocessor. So today we will discuss only the instructions and very small logics what we are using for addition of a to 8-bit data. So we can also add the 16-bit data. So there is also a loop systems, how much time period it will be executed. So there are so many instructions, but we have to study about only the introductory part of microprocessor. So this will again control. Now slightly we have to move to the about the microcontroller part. So what about the microcontroller? We have always listened about the microcontroller system. So basically what is the microcontroller? So if you are talking about the in simple terms, microcontroller is a small computer. Okay, so microcontroller is a nothing else, it is a small computer that is capable of performing the specific task. Means the production and the generation. So how it is microcontroller is generated, it is the basically task specific. Means if you have to perform a specific task, you will design your microcontroller for completing or performing that particular task. Okay, just say if you are have to washing machine, so microcontroller is designed for particular what type of work we have to perform by using the washing machine, hand phones, alarm, car alarm. So that is the different applications, and according to that applications we have to design our microcontroller. Now second thing is there are many similar if we are talking about the microcontroller, so we can also call it as a microprocessor based system, controller, MCU, MPU, CPU. So that are the different names of our microcontroller. Now we will move to the MCU. So what about the MCU, microcontroller unit? And if we are talking about the MPU, so that is a microprocessor unit. So that is a basically, so according to that we can classify our microcontroller in two parts. And in general these microcontrollers are basically, if you are calling microcontroller, is a brain of our embedded system. So it is a basically a very important part of our system, the task specific applications. So again, we will describe microcontroller is a small and low cost microcomputer which is designed to perform the specific task of embedded system. Suppose displaying microwave information, receiving remote signals, etc. So there are many applications that will be performed. The general microcontroller. So what is the basically consists of, what type of components it will consist? If we are talking about the microcontroller, consists of the processor. So one thing is processor. There is a memory. So if you are talking about the memory, so there is a RAM, ROM, EEPROM memory are existing in our microcontroller, and serial ports or peripherals, timers and counters. So that is also included in our microcontroller part. So that is a very basic part. Again, we will define microcontroller is a integrated chip. Okay, so microcontroller is again in form of the ICs, because every components, because today in our day by day enhancement is due to day by day enhancement, what will happen, our circuitry diagram will be very compact, and that is basically maximum components are in the form of ICs. So microcontroller ICs is also available. So microcontroller is a IC chip, integrated chip, basically a part of an embedded system. And microcontroller includes the central processing unit, RAM, ROM, input output ports, and timers like a standard computer. So these are the basically external peripheral devices of our microcontroller. Yeah, these are inbuilt feature in. So microcontroller there is a central processing unit, random memory access unit, read only memory, and input output ports. But they are designed to execute only. But if you are talking about the single microcontroller, so that is basically designed for performing the specific task. Okay, and they are very much smaller. So as we have to know, our basically ICs is a very integrated part. So you can see here the microcontroller ICs. This is also a microcontroller ICs, and it is designed for a task specific based. uh, Now we are classified our microcontroller types. How we can classify our microcontroller? So basically microcontroller is classified based according to bits. How many bits are there in microcontroller system? Classification on memory based and classification on instruction set. So that is basically, if we are also classified your microprocessor according to device, that is the 8080, 8051, PIC and AVR. So that is the basically types of our microcontroller. But our basic in our lecture we will see about the 8051 microcontroller. So that is a basic architecture of our 8051 microcontroller. You can see here. So that is basically a four input output ports are in microcontroller: RAM, ROM, interrupt control, central processing unit, bus control. So that is all timer. So these are also included in our microcontroller 8051 microcontroller system. These also, what we have to done, we have seen that RAM, ROM, input output port, these all are the basic integral part of our microcontroller system. So that is basically, now we have to see what about the microprocessor. We have to see that what is the microprocessor and what about the microcontroller. So what will happen, what we have seen that microcontroller is just like a microprocessor, but it is basically designed for a task specific. But if we are talking about the microprocessor, so it is generally a general purpose microprocessor. It is not a task specific, it is designed for a general purpose, and it can, and we can handle so many tasks with help of our microprocessor. Microprocessor doesn't contain any type of RAM, ROM, memory or input output ports on the chip itself. And microcontroller has a CPU and fixed amount of RAM, ROM port for a single chip. So if we have seen that what will happen, so microcontroller are used to execute a single task. But if we are talking about the microprocessor, it is used for a big applications. Its designing and hardware cost is low. Its designing and hardware cost is high. So what will happen? Microcontroller is a cheap unit, and if you are talking about the microprocessor, its cost is very high. If you want to replace the microcontroller, it is easy. But if you want to replace microprocessor, it is tough. It is maybe very costly. So basically, microcontroller is built up with the CMOS technology. So we have to also know that CMOS technology is consume the less power. So it is basically, if you are working on the microcontroller, it will consume the less power. But if your microprocessor are working, so consumption of power is high in our microprocessor circuit. Easy to replace. If you want to replace your microcontroller, you can replace it, but you can't replace your microprocessor. That is the CMOS, CPU, RAM, ROM, input output devices are consist of, but microprocessor don't consist of RAM, ROM, input output port. It is used its pin to interface to the peripheral devices. So that is a basic difference. Now we will again see types of microcontroller. So that is based on 8-bit microcontroller. So if you are talking about the 8-bit, so this type of microcontroller is used for arithmetic and logical operations. Okay, and Intel 8031, 8051 are the 8-bit microcontroller. If you are talking about the 16-bit microcontroller, so this type of microcontroller is used to perform the arithmetic and logical operations, but accuracy is very high in this type of, because we are moving from 8 bit to 16 bit. So as the number of bits are increases, so Intel 8096 is a 16 bit microcontroller, and its operations accuracy is very good. We can also switch, at present we are also working to the 32 bit microcontroller, and this type of microcontroller is the automatic operational machines, medical applications. So this is automatically controlled appliances. We are using this type of microcontroller. And again, that is also classified on memory base. So if you are talking external memory microcontroller and embedded memory microcontroller, means if you are working on the external memory microcontroller, so this type of microcontroller is designed in such a way that don't have a program memory. Means generally we have seen in our previous slides that microcontroller have its own RAM and ROM or memory, but If you are externally memory microcontroller, so in this type of microcontroller we don't have any type of memory on a chip, so we have to use an external memory from outside. So this is so 8031 microcontroller is working just like a external memory. Embedded memory, this type of microcontroller is designed that it has all programs and data memory, counters, timers, interrupt, everything is embedded on a single chip. So that is Intel 8, 8551 is a this type of microcontroller. So that is the basic classification. Now we have to switch to the applications of microcontroller. So light sensing, controlling devices, LED, temperature sensing, microwave oven, chimney, fire detection, safety devices. All these are the basically used for the our microcontroller in these applications. So this is basically what is about the microprocessor and what about the microcontroller. So that is a separate thing. Microcontroller is a task specific and microprocessor is a general devices that can handle the many types of applications by using the microprocessor. So this is a very brief descriptions of our devices, what type of devices in which we are working. So that is the basic differences. In our next lecture, we will moving towards the programming of our microprocessor, and we will move to the very simple program that is based on the 8085 microprocessor. So now we will see some objective type questions which we have to cover in this lecture. So something controls the flow of data and instruction within the computer. So what type of unit will be handled and which will handle these controlling part. What is the true about the microprocessor? So you have to know what is the microprocessor. You can read out these sentences and you can check that yes, it is the basic part of our microprocessor. Microprocessor consists of, so what type of units are consisting in our microprocessor? So you can see the basic architecture, so you can easily judge it, which controls the flow of data and instructions within the control computer. So you can also have to see which of the following is not a feature of microprocessor. So you have to know what type of features we are using in our microprocessor, what is which statement is not correct for our microprocessor. So you can also judge. We can also see the microprocessor, those instructions from memory. So what type of sequences we have to follow. You have to execute, fetch, or decade. So that you have to know which is word is accurate for that particular sentence. The microcontroller at least should consist of, so what type of devices or parts of our microcontroller is consisted. So we have also discussed about it in our lectures. So this is a very basic part in our microcontroller system. RAM, ROM, input output port, timer, or CPU RAM, or what about the CPU RAM, input output timer. So you have to just see which is the basic correct part of it. And now this is the unlike microprocessor, microcontroller make use of battery because they have. So why we are using the battery in our microcontroller part? So you have to know what is the as we have to know microcontroller is made of CMOS technology. So you have to know, I have also told you about the how our microcontroller is designed and how our microprocessor is designed. So if your microcontroller is designed CMOS technology. So what is the basic feature of our CMOS technology? So according to that concept, we can solve this type of problem. So just what is the sequence which we have to follow? What is the order decided by the processor or the CPU of controller to execute an instructions? So that is very basic part. You have to decode, page, and execute. So which one will be the correct? So this is all contents which we have to cover in our microcontroller and microprocessor. So if we are talking about these two units, these two devices are very important for many applications. Okay, so if we are moving to the automatic system, automatic applications are performed in many industries, many household devices. So what we have to done, we have to require a microcontroller. So if you have to design task specific microprocessor, so that is basically it is a task specific, and it has a certain features for complete that their work, yeah, execute the work from proper way. So it is a basic part by using that we can design a task specific microcontroller. So I think it will be clear to you ki what is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller part. And our microcontroller, we are apart from 8051 microcontroller, we are also moving to the another enhanced microcontroller systems also. So in our further study, you can see ki how much accuracy we will achieve from 8085 and why we are moving towards the advanced version of our microcontroller devices. So now, our in this lecture we have covered very basic part of this. So I think